So, today I want to talk to you about your ego. And I want to present this in a way that you maybe have not ever considered. In order to do this, I want to kind of bring you into a practice with me. And I want you to kind of allow yourself to go into this. And in order to be able to create an understanding of your ego's job in your life, really, this might help you to understand it. So, we all live in loops and cycles in our lives. If you think about it, you get up every day and you probably do the same exact thing. For me, I have an alarm set. I wake up, sometimes I check my phone, which I probably shouldn't. I take a shower, I get my coffee, I sit down and check my emails and check my social media to see if I need to respond to anything. And then I try to sit and meditate or just enjoy silence for just a moment. And then I will myself into coming into my office and beginning my day to work, starting to meet with clients, kind of creating whatever I need to create, send emails, answer emails, just a day. And then the day ends, and then I kind of do the same things in the evenings that I'll watch TV or make myself dinner, or I'll go meet a friend, or I'll go for a bike ride or go to the gym, whatever it is. It seems that life goes in cycles and patterns. Well, the interesting thing about this is that cycles and patterns are not always comfortable, yet we still do them. And there's a part of us that says, maybe there's more for me. Maybe there's something else I'm supposed to be doing with my life. But what happens is we get stuck in this loop in our mind, in our energy, and in our schedule, where anything outside of that kind of feels like a threat to our ego. It kind of feels unpredictable. It feels unsafe. It feels like something foreign that maybe is not achievable, or it's not something that you could create space and time for in your schedule. And so we get into this pattern where we start to limit ourselves. And we limit ourselves in all types of ways. This could be from developing new connections to experiences to stepping into soul alignment to your soul purpose. This could be going on a trip. This could be meeting a new friend, or just even a friend in general for dinner, or having consistent connection with someone outside of your family. Like, there's so many different things that keep us in loops. And before we know it, we get through our life and we've been doing the same thing every day. And I have been thinking about that, particularly in the last couple years, because I have been working on building my business, stepping out into my soul alignment, teaching others how to do that, offering healing sessions, like really having this intuitive nudge to start walking my soul purpose in life. Now, why I'm speaking about it as like your ego is because my ego was feeling a threat to my soul purpose all along. There was not really a moment where I didn't look at the path forward of where I wanted to be and what I wanted to succeed in, what I wanted to achieve, that I didn't feel resistance, or I didn't feel fear. There was fear and resistance all the way along the path, and there's still fear and resistance that come up for me. So, what I want you to do with me is I want you to imagine that you are going to give your ego a different name. And just think of a different name. I'll just call I don't even know. I'll call my ego Sally or Sam or something like that. And I want you to give this ego a sex, or just call them they, if that feels aligned for you. For me, I'm going to call my ego a she, and I'm going to talk about how she has been a part of my journey, and how she has an important role in my life, and how I don't want to harm or shame that part of me, or that ego, the she. I want to embrace her. I want her to know that she's safe. I want her to know that she's worthy. I want her to know that she doesn't always have to protect me from everything. And the reason this is coming up is because, for me anyways, and why I want to teach this and why I want to help others people with this, is because our ego is so smart. The ego knows patterns. The ego stores things within it. It picks up on narratives. It picks up on like little signals. It picks up on energy. It creates stories, and it's like, wait a minute, last time something like this happened, this is what happened, and I got really hurt. And so therefore, I'm going to make sure that that same feeling comes up again so we don't get into that situation. I'm not going to step over this boundary that I have created for myself, or this limitation that I've created for myself, because when I stay within that, I'm safe. Because here's the amazing thing. My ego, she has experienced so much in her life. She has been through so much trauma. She has been abused. She has been taken advantage of. She has showed up for people that did not show up for her. She has struggled with lack. She has struggled financially. She has struggled in jobs. She has been through so much. And I love her because without her, I would not be where I am now. She has been a companion to me like no one else has in my entire life. The moment I came into this world, she was there. And she has been a part of me this whole path forward. And so when I start to step into soul alignment and I start to step into my soul purpose, I don't want to shame her, and I don't want to tell her that I don't need her, because I do still need her. I need her to remind me to stay safe sometimes. I need her to remind me that I'm a human and that there are going to be things that happen that I need to work through. I need her to protect me in many different ways. However, sometimes because of the experiences that she's had before, she protects me when she doesn't have to. Because sometimes things that are good for me also feel familiar to the things that were not good for me or did hurt me. And so what she does is she puts a shield up and she says, wait a minute, you can't do that, or you shouldn't do that. And this goes across the board in all kinds of things. This could be an intuitive nudge to take a step forward to reach out to somebody. And then she pops up and she says, remember the last time that happened with somebody and how they hurt you and that didn't go well? You probably shouldn't do that because that will probably happen again. And you're like, you're right. I should probably not do that. And then you stay in this loop of having this intuitive nudge to do something. And your ego, she's over here saying, but remember the last time this happened and how it felt. And your intuition is saying, yeah, but I'm trying to help you and teach you that you can create new patterns for yourself and that you don't have to let the old patterns dictate or create the narrative for the new story that you can create for yourself. And so, what happens in that moment is you start to sit with this, I want to, but I'm scared. I want to, but what if this happens? I want to, but I'm not sure I can do that. Or I want to, but I can't afford that. I want to, but I don't have the time. I want to, but I'm busy. Like, there's all these things that she will pop up and say to me, and I'm sure yours to you, that keep you in this loop where you can look outside and see somebody else maybe moving forward in their life or having an experience or doing something. And you might say to yourself, that must be nice. That must be nice that you can do that. This has happened to me quite a bit lately as I have been working to trust my soul's intuitive nudges more. And I've had some people, particularly in my family, say to me, well, that must be nice that you get to do that. And the amazing thing is there's part of me that feels a little bit of shame. That part of me the ego part of me, she kind of flares up and wants to protect me, and she's like, "Yeah, you shouldn't want that, or you shouldn't have that because that hurts them. That makes them feel bad. So you shouldn't want that for yourself because they don't have it. And because they don't have it, you should keep yourself from having this too." And what happens is sometimes you give in to that and you think, "Oh, I shouldn't do this because it might hurt their feelings that I did something, or I achieved something, or I completed something, or I stepped into something." And this universe is full of experiences in life to be lived. I remember several years ago, I had this epiphany about how big the world is. And it's not that I really didn't think about it in this way before, because I've had amazing experiences. I've traveled all around the world. I've had, I've had things that a lot of people maybe have not had, been able to experience. And the thing of it is I still had a little bit of a limited mindset about what I could achieve in this life, even though I knew the world was bigger than what I saw in my four walls of my house, my town and my city, my state, my country, and all this stuff. And I started to think about how many opportunities and things are out there in the world that we never even consider to look at because we're so caught up in the four walls that we live in, or the standards that have been created for us based on the programming ideas or the thoughts of other people, the things that we have been taught to believe since we were children, the things that we were programmed and hypnotized to believe about ourselves as we went through experiences. And so when I had this expanded opening of the world is my playground, I get to play on planet Earth as a human. Think about it that way. Allow yourself to, just for a moment, pretend that you're a child and you come into this world, and just I know this sounds crazy, but just pretend that in your little child eyes you can see the whole world. You can see all the playgrounds. You can see all the experiences. You can see all the other kids. You can have all the, like, dirt to play in, whatever it might be that is fun for you. Just for a second, imagine you come in and you see the grand mass of beauty on the earth. And you're like, "I get to be here. I get to explore this place. I get to spend time with these people. I get to play on all those playgrounds." And then you start to grow up and people teach you how to be safe. They start to hurt you. You might have trauma. You might be told, "Oh, we don't have enough money for that," or "I'll never be able to do that," or "You should look for something else to do with your life because you can't make money doing that," or whatever it is. You start to be told how to be a human. And so you start to conform into this idea of, this is how I be a human. This is how I stay safe. These are the things that hurt me. And therefore, I need to protect myself from all of that. And before you know it, you live a limited life where you feel uncomfortable, you're not happy, and you're not moving forward because you're in a loop and you're doing the same thing every day. And yet your soul is telling you there's more. There's something else for me. I know I'm here for something. I know that I am meant for something different. Or I am meant to have a more abundance, or I'm meant to have more experiences. And the truth of it is your soul's right. And the reason that we don't always move towards those knowings is because that lovely, beautiful ego that came into earth to be a human is doing her job so well, or his job or their job so well, that they are making sure that you are completely protected. But that protection often leaks over into the positive things of your life as well. And when they start to leak, that part of you starts to build barriers and walls into creating the limits that you can't trust yourself and you can't trust your intuition. That's when you have to come back and start to work on releasing the thoughts and programs that that part of you created and built up over time because it had to survive. And you start to notice when you start to get a prompt or an intuitive nudge to do something, instead of agreeing with the ego and saying, "You're right, I will never be able to afford that. I will never be able to go on that trip. I will never be able to get that vehicle. I will never be able to move. I will never be able to do whatever the never be able to could be for you." And the thing is our soul knows whether it's right for us or not. And if it's not, then you're going to run into block after block after block after block. And sometimes a block might open and you might step into something and be like, "Oh, shoot, I heard wrong." But the beauty of this experience is that we really can't get it wrong because we're souls having a human experience. And our soul is always going to evolve back into its true original self. We're just here on this playground called Earth to have an experience. And so when you have an opportunity come up where you're like, that's scary, I'm not sure that I can do that, I want you to start looking at that part of yourself that's protecting you. And I want you to talk to her or them or him. And I want you to start to ask questions. Are you trying to protect me for something because you're scared? Or because this brings fear up, because it feels unfamiliar or it feels familiar or it feels like this might happen? Or are you actually trying to keep me from doing something that might be beneficial for me? It might help me grow. It might bring in something new for my life. And if I just allow you to feel safe and loved for just a second, while I make this decision, I can ease into my soul's knowing, that very calm, expansive energy that develops when you really tune into your spirit, and make the decision from that point, not from the fear, not from the lack, not from the limited expectations that were developed in your mind, but from an expansive knowing that my soul is always going to guide me correctly. And this happens in the little tiny things in your daily life. It happens in the little moments. And then when big things come up for you and big opportunities come up for you, you have built up this understanding of having a knowing between your ego and your spirit. And you can sit with this and you can spend time with that part of yourself that is your protector. And you can talk with them and you can tell them, "You're safe. I know this is my soul because it will not go away. This thought will not stop. So I am going to trust, whether I get it wrong or not, that I'm going to start to move towards this." And you'll know if it opens up that this was the right choice. And if it starts to close in on you, and maybe you step into this and suddenly start to feel this, "Ugh, I don't think I'm supposed to do this," that's okay. Use it as an opportunity to learn the difference between how to hear from your protective energy of your ego or the soul expansion of your higher self. And this is just a process of learning, but we all have the ability to do this. If you are wanting to learn more about how to do this and you would like support with that, feel free to schedule a session with me. I do healing sessions. I have a healer circle. I have an Ascension membership. They're all in the link below in my description. And I would love to help you understand what is your ego and what is your spirit, and to dive in a little bit deeper to teaching that part of yourself that they are safe. I hope that was supportive and helpful for you today. And if you have any questions, I would love a comment or a question or whatever it is below. Please subscribe to my channel as I start to use my intuitive gifts to step forward more into this space. And if you feel called to share this with somebody as well, I would love that also. I wish you the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.